Now check your page to see if you're live on your page.
Okay, like my notifications or?
No, your actual Facebook page.
Okay, so
like your page.
Like it would be, all right, okay. I don't think there's anything, there's nothing indicating that I'm live on my page.
Okay, so go to my page.
Go to your page?
Yep.
Okay, I'm at the Be Live Studio 2, but go to your actual.
No, you're supposed to be go to Facebook.
Yep, okay, hold on. Go to your page, hold on.
Now you just went to your Facebook page, right?
Yeah, I was just on my page.
Okay, on Facebook.
Yep, we've been live for not long. Okay.
So share that to your page.
Got it. I just shared it to my profile.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, usually what I would do is I'd let the music play, even though people who are watching now or listening now can hear us.
Mm-hmm.
I would let the music play, and then once the music stopped, I do something like, okay, pow! Now, usually what I would do. Okay, now I hear a lot of feedback.
I just exited, so there's no feedback.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay. So yeah, so what I would usually do is like pow, like you know, like the word pal, like it was pow.
Right.
And then I'd do an introduction, and then I'd say, so this isn't battle rap, but it would be like everything we do is fire, you know, truth, whatever. And then I would lower the I would minimize the picture, bring us up, and then bam.
Got it.
So we are here.
Here we are now.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is the awkward part, because it's like, okay, we're here now. The technical stuff is out of the way.
Right.
But
we have a topic. And so
okay.
I'm going to ask you a question. So
okay.
Let's start with just a vignette. Like, what was your best Valentine's Day? What was your worst Valentine's Day? Do you even remember if there was such a thing for you?
I really don't. So I used to be, when I was really broke, I hated Valentine's Day, and I tried to put a spin on it, like I'm woke, a woke spin to it, like, man, that's just the man wanting you to spend money on that day. You're supposed to care about who you with every day. So right. Why do I have to go out and spend? That's consumerism, and the real reason why was just because I'm broke. But once I found out that you can get candy with EBT, yeah,
it was over.
What?
It was over, like in a good way.
Yes, I was like, you can really get these expensive chocolates with EBT. And then someone told me, I put this on my Facebook a couple of days ago, and then someone told me that if you get like a teddy bear that has candy attached to it, you could still get it with your EBT.
For what?
That's right.
I like it. As it should be. As it should be.
Right.
Good.
Right.
Now,
so,
yeah, I was asking you like your best and worst Valentine's Day, if you remember that there was such a.
No, to be honest, it never was really a big deal to me. It never really was. Like, even for example, even like holidays like Christmas were not really a big deal for me, to the point where if I got something, I would get it when I get paid anyway. So it wouldn't matter if it was December 25th, February 21st, which is my birthday, which is in 7 days. I accept EBT, food stamps. I accept cash, credit, money order, cans, Goodwill, food, snacks, anything. But yeah, so I I never, to me, it's like, if you want something, go get it. Like my son tonight, like the reason why we didn't go live earlier, there's a couple things, but I ended up getting him a pair of AirPods. Now, he's done absolutely nothing to deserve it. There's no holiday for it. His birthday's and whatever. He's just a good kid. He said he wanted them, so I got him for him. So yeah, I don't really. A part of me still, not the woke me, but a part of me still like, I'll give it to you now because I have it, because there will be a time when I don't have it.
And so that's interesting. But in terms of Valentine's Day, I suppose it also depended if you were with someone or not. That
yeah,
Valentine's Day, right? So if you were,
yeah,
right.
But even then, so like today, I was working, and in my store, you know, like we had a whole like 1,000 balloons, and all the balloons were sold pretty much by about noontime today. There were still people coming in, dragging their feet, like, "Oh, you don't have any more?" And I was like, "Sorry, like we're all out." And they was like, "I gotta really go out and spend money at someplace else." I was like, "Yeah, sorry." To me, it was always like a last minute thing. I never really like invested. I used to go on vacation around Valentine's Day to Hull, and that's great. But as far as like Valentine's Day and trying to go all out, nope.
Was never and was that influenced by your family of origin and how you were raised, or culture, or all of the above?
Kind of all of the above, maybe. I don't know. Like, are you a therapist? I feel like I'm getting therapized right now.
I am the daughter of 2 clinicians.
Oh, okay. So this is starting to make more sense now. Okay. All right. So I'm on the chair. All right. I'm ready for it.
I'm not trying to put you on the chair. This is just naturally how I talk with everybody, to be honest.
Oh no, this is fine. It's perfectly fine. My father was never affectionate with us, never. And I didn't realize how much it affected us until I got older. So for example, I'm going to be 44 next week on my birthday. We're allowed to accept EBT, food stamps, cash, credit, check, money orders, IOU, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. I accept all of that, people who are listening. And if you guys want to comment, we can put your comments on the screen. But yes, pledge. You can pledge money for my birthday. Will's birthday is coming up, so you could pledge money too. But yeah, so it's to the point. If I gave my youngest sister a hug, it would be really awkward. She'll be like, "Why are you giving me a hug? What is this?" And she'd pull away, because we were never the family of affectionates. And then even when it came to Valentine's Day for my mother and him, who were together until she passed away, and longer than I've been alive. So when they would, even then, he would run out on Valentine's Day, grab something from the gas station, you know, one of them little roses that used to be like $1.99, one of those, a little teddy bear thing, come home and then call it a day. Like, okay, let's watch the game or something. So that was basically, I guess that's where I got it from.
Got it. Just grabbing something. It's not as meaningful as maybe other holidays. Might have been more meaningful.
Yeah. Yeah, the holidays aren't really, you know, I just, okay, it's tradition. Let's do it and get it over with.
Okay, yeah, got you. And so that, I think, is part of the stress of this day is people feel obligated. Everyone, all the way around, feels obligated, right? Because it's like, today is the day for love, right? And it's like,
right.
What if you're just not in the mood for that? You know, on it happens to be February 14th, but it's not your day. Maybe the next day is, you know, or a week from now or whatever, you know? And so there seems to be a lot of pressure on people, especially men, this is just my opinion only, to perform, meaning perform, not just sexually, although that's a different topic, but to perform in terms of gifts and what you're giving
Yes.
to a woman. And I think I could be wrong. You can correct me. That there's a lot of financial pressure on men at around this time of year on Valentine's Day. She's expecting, not all women, but a lot of women are, and it depends on the type of woman. She's expecting, she wants some jewelry, she wants some flowers, she wants some nice flowers. She doesn't just want, like you said, running out to the gas station flowers or whatever. Now, am I right? Or is that, it just depends on, it might be more individualized. It might just depend on the woman.
All right, so let me give you, this is my guilty laugh right here. When I'm doing like this, that means something's on my mind and I'm about to say something that might get myself in trouble. So here we go.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all women have found a way to make every holiday about y'all. Every single holiday about y'all. It's all about y'all. I swear, I remember telling my mother, hey, Mom, my birthday's coming up. She said, you should get me something. I was the one who was in labor and had to push you out. And she was serious. Y'all, I don't know how y'all did it. St. Patrick's Day. Oh, I got to go get the wife her green glasses and her green t-shirt for it's St. Patrick's Day. Like, oh, I got to take her to get some beer. It's St. Patrick's Day. Like, so I mean, tell me if I'm willing to get in trouble, and I'm willing to always. Another thing is, I'm willing to always be open-minded. If I say something stupid, just correct me, and I will take the correction. But I don't think I'm wrong on this one. Y'all women make every holiday about y'all. Go ahead.
I agree, and the reason, and I could be getting myself in a lot of trouble by saying that with other women, but
okay.
But I think there's a lot more to it. Meaning, women have been fed since they were very young a whole bag of goods about the expectations of what a man is supposed to do for you and what makes a man a good man and all of this, right? And so that does include a lot of I think marketers have done a very good job going after women. And when you look at there have been studies done, and I'm sorry I don't have the names or the titles of such studies at this moment, but I do know that generally speaking, women have the largest purchasing power in the country over men, period. Like,
absolutely. Yep.
We buy way more gifts, way more makeup and things for ourselves and lotions and whatever you can think of. We purchase more than men, generally speaking, and marketers know that. And so they go after us, target, psychologists are involved with working with marketers. I mean, this is how it's done. So where the culture and society and particularly media gets to us, and they put, I mean, you see there's these gorgeous commercials with Tiffany diamonds. I mean, things that probably 1%, maybe 5% of the population could ever afford. And so what happens is a woman sees that like way up here, and she goes inside, she's like, well, if he doesn't at least get me, a baby version of that, or, something. And, and so I think there can be a lot of fights on Valentine's Day, actually, a lot of fights.
Yes.
Because God, or she doesn't feel like she's worthy enough, or, whatever. Yep. And I don't think it's the men I think it's that women bought into the myth. They bought into you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So women still buy into that myth.
So what are some cost-effective ways to I don't think there's no real answer to that, because everybody's different. Right. This is why I don't when you give a relationship advice, I don't I when I try to give advice, I try to be as general as possible, because what works for me might not work for someone else, and then you might be steering them the wrong way. And I don't know how that person would react to, I'm not in a relationship with that person. So for me to really advise on that, what I usually do is focus on that person. But in that way, as much as possible, what would you suggest are some ways to avoid falling into that trap of consumerism for y'all women, making every holiday about y'all on Valentine's Day?
I think the most important thing is communication up front. So there's so many things that we don't ask each other in relationships up front, right? And so all of a sudden, you have your first Valentine's Day with your sweetheart or your partner, okay? And this is irregardless of sexual orientation, by the way. It just, there's one person that's going to want something more than the other, probably for a gift and all of that. And so there is, I think it comes down to communication up front, asking each other, what are our expectations around holidays and gift giving? And how much money is spent? And how important is that to the person? So if emotionally it's really important to her that you spend at least, $50 on her for Valentine's Day, and that up front, and you're both okay with it, well, now it's going to flow well. Now, some people, men included, like the whole element of surprise. The problem with surprise, in my opinion, is that you can't have good communication around that, because they want to be like, well, I want to surprise you. I don't want to talk about this right now because I want to surprise you later. Well, what if the surprise is something that she thought was going to be a lot more, a gift more substantial? Okay. So again, I just always come back to communication in terms of talking about what it is in terms of cost effectiveness. If she is with a man who very obviously does not make a ton of money every year, and she herself might not be making a ton of money, right? Then to me, some of the most beautiful gifts are sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Sentimental, like a photo that's framed. You get not even like a really expensive frame, but a decent frame, and you put a photo of it. It's like, it's one of your favorite, and just, this was my favorite photo of us this year, and I love you so much. That's really nice. Right. So that's very cost effective, or making her dinner with a few flowers that you did get from the gas station that you put in the middle of the table, and you make her dinner. That's cost effective because you're not going. So I think those are things. But again, for me, it comes back to communication. And are you communicating about these holidays and how much money gets spent or not spent and what it means to you and all of that? Yeah.
All right. So worst Valentine's Day and best Valentine's Day for you?
Oh, for me? I like yourself, don't really have many memories of Valentine's Day, because I think it really is a commercial holiday at the end of the day. And the men that I've been with, they always did something, flowers, or we'd go out to dinner or something like that. For me, people talk about love languages, like what's your love language? And for me, it's time. For me is time. So if someone gives me their time, that means I'm valuable. For me, I interpret that as I'm valuable to this person. They're giving me their time. And so time now on Valentine's Day, maybe that can be mixed up with this or that. But again, the pressure of the holiday gets weird. And I know I can't say a lot of women, but I know for some women that I've talked to over the years, the pressure around sex on that particular night it's just a little too much. And they're like, it feels like I'm obligated. And I just tomorrow I'll probably be all excited. It just not on the 14th because you're telling me, come on, let's go. And so there's kind of this tension and pressure around sex on Valentine's Day. Now, I think men, you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think men do equate Valentine's Day with, I'm definitely getting some tonight. I'm definitely getting some at some point. I could be wrong. And maybe it depends what phase of your life you're in.
Okay. Well, got to be honest, I'm a little bit offended with that statement. You are absolutely right. We definitely think that on Valentine's Day, someone's getting something from someone somewhere. Uh, yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, I can't. Definitely, definitely. Now, are you sensitive to using gender placements on things? Because I got to admit, a couple moments ago, I was going to say, well, I feel like a lot of women expect you just to know. When you were talking about communication,
Mm-hmm.
they expect you just to magically know. But I stopped myself because I said I'm one of those people. So I don't want to say women and men. I mean, I don't want to say just women because there are some men like that too. Even though I am sensitive to other people's feelings on being gender specific when talking about things like that. How sensitive to you are you to those things?
Women,
No, placing things like emotional on women, or placing things like expecting you to be a mind reader on women. Because I got to be honest, it's been for about a couple of years. I've been starting to learn more about stuff like that. So I've been getting better at it. But sometimes, when you're raised a certain way and you grow up in society where it's a certain way, to expect someone to get out of it in like a year, even, sometimes you still go back to your old ways. It's almost like training for a fight. You can train and train and train, but as soon as you get hit, sometimes you'll revert to just the old ways and forget all your training. So
right.
what do you think about that?
I think many men have expectations that are not communicated. And they just assume that she will know certain things. So
Yep.
I think everything we're talking about can go with both genders. The issue is that what happens is if a man says to his, especially in the hetero cis community, right? So if a cis man says to a straight man says to his straight buddy, I really wanted her to get me this thing on Valentine's Day and she didn't, and I'm really bummed out about it today. His buddy, if his buddy's not sensitive, his buddy will be like, what the F, man? Like, blow it off, like, whatever, who cares? There was an expectation that a woman would say that more to a girlfriend, but for a man to say, God damn, like, she didn't even get me, like, I got her a bunch of stuff, but she didn't even get me like anything, she didn't even get me like a little something, for a man to say that, sometimes he's bumping up against the toxic masculine culture. Now, what's good, what's really good, is that toxic masculine culture in this country is starting to be broke down very slowly, by having conversations like this and making sure we're staying aware of gender in our conversations in terms of who's feeling what. And, so I've been talking more stereotypically, you're right, about, women and how they feel and what they think. But the opposite can be very true for men. Maybe some men, had certain traditions with their family growing up on Valentine's Day, and they just assumed their girlfriend knew, My aunt and her family, they would have a whole dinner together on Valentine's Day. Like, my aunt tried to make it about, it's not just about romance. It's about family and love and friends and all of that. So,
blah.
Yeah. Well, and then before we went live tonight, I was doing some reading on the history of Valentine's Day. I mean, the history is very much about romance, period. Straight.
Yep.
And so the history goes way, way back. Now, certain countries, I believe Sweden is one of them, they call today, or whenever they celebrate it, Lovers and Friends Day.
Okay.
So they lump it all in, they don't just make it about one thing. So you were asking about the good and bad that I've had. I think it's been neutral, like yourself. Valentine's Day has been very neutral. It doesn't pop out. No one asked me to if someone asked me to marry them on that day, maybe I would remember. And that happens. There's lots of proposals
Right.
on Valentine's Day, right? But like nothing that I can like really stands out for me, except I'm going to mention my mom, because to this day, she will give my sister and I something, chocolates,
Yep.
a card, something. It's very thoughtful. It's very sweet, you know? But the bad Valentines are when I'm not in a relationship, because no matter how much people are putting on social media, you know, sometimes, oh, it's love for everybody. Oh, no, come on. It's
Okay.
It originated a long time ago as a romantic holiday, and it still fundamentally is. That's now we can change it and adopt it, and make it into something different. But I can feel like I'm making it into something different because I don't have a partner that particular Valentine's. So I just want the day to go. I just want it to go. Because there's reminders everywhere. There's reminders everywhere, you know, about, oh, wow, now today I'm really reminded that I'm not not coupled up, you know? So, yeah. So that's the answer to good and bad.
Okay. Well, very tough. It could be very tough. What other holidays are like that though? What holidays can make a person, Mother's Day or Father's Day, right?
Right.
If you lose a parent, or if you don't have a parent, or if you don't know your real parents. So for example, I have custody of 3 girls, my nieces, that are not my biological kids. And the first year we got them, I wasn't expecting Mother's Day to be an issue. It was just something unforeseen. And then when they came home, and was like, you know, everybody's writing letters to their mother and father, and here we are. And so so I can imagine that Valentine's Day for single people kind of feels like that. It kind of feels like the whole world is out there doing something and celebrating something, and you're just existing here until midnight or until you wake up the next day, and then you're able to, okay, I'm back, world. What are we doing today? Bad weather, snow, what are we doing?
Yeah, it could, because it's an in-your-face reminder, you know? And so there are things people who are single can do to try to make the day better. They can have their other single friends over with them. They can do, but to me, no matter what you do, it's still, this is just my opinion. It's my opinion alone.
Okay.
No matter what you do to try to soothe the day, you know, it's never going to be quite, it's still going to be a reminder. And for Mother's Day, it's sons and daughters, you know, who don't have a relationship with their parents, or Mother and Father's Day can be very triggering and very difficult day for a lot of people, or parents that have passed on. And also for women and for men who don't have kids.
Yeah. Yep.
So I have no kids. So when Mother's Day comes around, I focus on my mother, but it's still a reminder that, you know, well, that's not what happened for me. And I'm not like that upset about it, but for other people, sometimes they've lost a child, you know, they've lost a child, or and so it can be very stressful. Yeah. Or just, it's a reminder. And how I think a lot of holidays are reminders, like even Christmas. Suicides go up over certain holidays, you know, because they are reminders of difficult things for people. Not always, but, and like you said,
do suicides go up on Christmas?
I think the entire month of December. But I can check on that. Don't quote me. Generally, they go up over the holidays. Yes.
Okay.
Generally, but I could be. I'm pretty sure of that, but I can check that.
Okay. Well, we are doing the test run. I think this dynamic is kind of cool, because it's almost like you, like, as soon as you said, "Oh, my parents are clinicians," I was like, "Oh," and then you started asking questions, and then I was like, "Wait a minute, I gotta get a couple questions in there," and then every question I asked, you were just like, "Oh, well," and then you just answered them. So that was good too. So, how do you think it's going so far?
This is great. I'm a natural communicator, so this is fantastic. I would do this again in a heartbeat.
Okay, and you feel like I'm doing good going back and forth? Because I feel like I feel like I am not as intelligent, but yeah, I feel almost like almost like I'm having like a casual conversation, and you're more pointed and more direct and staying on task. Like, and that's honestly, I think that good.
Well, that's
That.
because we're live, even though I don't think anyone has seen us. Maybe they will later after we're
Oh no,
finished.
they have people.
Oh, people have
I've seen I've seen 8 people come in, and then, you know, so what happens is a lot of times when they're on Facebook, they'll see they'll see the picture, they'll see the wallpaper, whatever, and then they'll stop and then they'll listen for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, let me go back to what I was actually on Facebook for looking for, and then they'll scroll away. But yeah, people are coming in and out, actually kind of healthy. Yep. So once this gets set up and we do the do the whole thing, make a page or whatever, if that's what you want to do, get a page going, and then we can set a time, discuss all that stuff off after of course. But hey, you know, like, if you enjoyed this is cool. So we knocked out 31 minutes and it was like nothing.
Oh, I knew that would probably happen because we're both good communicators and we talk a lot. I'm more pointed because I know there potentially are people watching. So
right.
If we're off live, you'll see the difference. I'm just kind of
okay.
Yeah. Now I know a lot of people are just fully themselves, even if they're live.
And
I can't. That's not me. I mean, I am fully myself right now with some with restrictions, you know, like kind of a little bit professional, you know, because that's just how
okay, so see, I'm kind of the opposite. I've been working since this morning, got out of work, and like I'm just like inside, I feel like I could just go to sleep. But once I know we're live, for some reason the energy kicks up and a little bit of adrenaline. And like I said, it's not like I'm like, pow, we're here and let's go. And then, but yeah, you know, I'm a little bit turned up. But speaking of, let me ask you, is the pointed, and you said, because you said when we go offline you're a different person, is that kind of like a defense mechanism? And let me explain why I'm asking that. I met with this preacher from church because I went to church for a long time. I went to Bible school, and and I graduated, and I was meeting with the pastor at Salt and Pepper on Lincoln Street. So we were sitting there, we were having breakfast, and he was like, "Oh, I kind of like the jewelry," and I was like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And he was like, "Yeah, but it kind of makes me sad." And I was like, "Why?" And he said, "I think you wear it to hide yourself, almost." So do you are you so what do you think about that? And what do you think about do you like how you're more pointed now, and people are watching? Is that because you're hiding yourself, maybe?
So regarding him telling you that the jewelry or the whatever was hiding yourself, I don't know if I would agree with that, because I think that when people adorn jewelry on themselves or whatever they're doing to it, they're creating a style, and it's actually very personal. So I have an opposite feeling about what that man said to you. And that is that you're actually becoming more authentically yourself by your dress and what you're like. So I just tend to disagree in what he said. But in terms,
you know what, just to inject something right there really quickly, you're both right, because to an extent, like my mother used to always wear minks. you have China and stuff like that. So I know that's where I got it from. So I do like to be like different, or I'm like the gauges and everything. Like I try, and it's not like I wake up and say, how can I be different today? It's just natural. But when I think the going overboard with it, I think is the way of, oh wow, they look all that and they compliment that, then they're complimenting me at the same time.
Right.
So it is, so you both are right. Because when he said it, I immediately felt it like, yeah, like, oh, you got one necklace. Why do you need two? Oh, you got two necklaces. Why do you need three? You got three necklaces. Why do you need four? Why, like, it's so excessive. And that's where he was right. But the being different and everything like that, absolutely. So I just wanted to interject that you both were right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Regarding my like pointedness, or I just
I don't even know if pointedness is the right word. I'm just, so, and maybe it's just you, like the proper talk, like almost like I feel like I'm talking to a therapist or a teacher, or
yeah.
someone who is bringing the points and keeping us on task to the subject matter that we're discussing, because we want to make sure that everything we say is communicated at a level where it's easily consumable. You know what I mean?
That's me. That's me. That's me.
Yes.
That's
okay.
me off camera as well. I mean,
Okay.
I'm a bit more off camera. I can, say things that I just feel a little, but also just in general, when any camera is involved.
Okay.
If it's live, not if it's not
Yes.
live. If this was just a personal Zoom call between you and I'd probably be very similar but my guard is down more. And I would I would reveal more things, because when it comes to like the public, because there's all kinds of people on your page, there's all kinds of friends you have.
Right.
And now I'm more, if it was just my friends, I might be a little looser, but because I don't know who's watching this or will watch this or whatever, I am more, conscientious about like what I'm going to say or not say. Generally speaking, if I'm having a discussion, this is kind of how I am anyways. But but yeah, it's because we're live.
Okay.
It wasn't a live thing. Now it's interesting because like people as famous as Oprah, or Ellen, or they have this related, and I think you really have it. It's this relatability, because you'll just say what you say what goes on in your day and all the nitty gritty and all the things that make us human. And I mean, I don't mind getting into that a little bit, but then I'm gonna pull back and be like, I don't know how much I want to go.
Sometimes that's a bad thing, especially on Facebook. It is a bad thing.
Well, and I've learned that even just some of my posts over time, were too over involved, too telling of my personal life, and not all my posts, just some. And I've just learned that. And then this is before the story came out, and then the Facebook story comes out. Story. Yeah. So then the story comes out, and I'm like, oh my God, 70 people watched my story. Now I had way more friends than that, and I was like, that means there are the majority of people on social media are just looking. They don't want to see it. To me, it should be an interactive tool. It should be at least give a thumbs up, letting me know you passed through, Would you go through someone's house and say nothing? So it really actually upsets me a little bit, but I know that a lot of people, and they're kind of behind their screen, checking into everyone's life. And then your personal information can be used against you.
Trust me, I am 100% in agreement with that. And I have experienced that in the worst way possible. And I wish I would learn from that. I wish I could learn to keep my big mouth shut. But it's just that if I don't vent sometimes,
Right.
like I have to find a place to vent. I have to find a place to release.
Right.
And if it's involving people around me and I can't release without it becoming more escalated, then sometimes I just go to Facebook and it's just like blah 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 blah. Oh, and then I get calls from like North Carolina, like, is he okay? I think he's
What's going
losing
on?
it a little bit.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
What's going on? Yeah. So
Exactly. So, but in saying that, I found a great, you can start a group with
Yep.
just your closest friends, like 20
Yep.
or 15. And that's where you go. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or
Yep.
Facebook has a thing where you can mark every single person on Facebook as either closest friend, close friend, family. You can label them. So any post you do after you
Yep.
vent out and you're typing and you're getting all upset, right? We've all been
Yep.
there. Then you can like take a deep breath and be like, who am I sending this out to now? Instead of 1,000 people, you know, you go to, you know what? I'm going to send it to my closest friends.
Right.
And that way only 20 people get, so there's different ways of handling it because they've done studies about people, you know, writing things and sending them out, you know, on Facebook.
Yep.
If we envision our own selves getting up in front of 650 people to say what we just wrote, would we say something different? Usually we would. Maybe not. Maybe we're so pissed we really would get in
right.
650 people.
Everybody.
Person, I don't care.
Just stand in the room in the back. Bring them in too. I'll say it to them too. No, I don't.
Right.
I do. I have to.
They have done studies that people are much, much more apt to send things that they probably normally wouldn't have if it was 650 people in their backyard that they had to go talk to. You know, they would probably tone it down. And another point that I'm aware of in psychology is that it takes 2 hours to get down from a very high level of rage or anger. 2 full hours. So if you can not be on social media, but get in your car and go for a drive or go for a walk or, you know, without the virus, go to a cafe or whatever, right?
Yep.
Get yourself down. Now your post is going to be different. You still might post, but it's going to be different.
Okay, so it takes two full hours
and I'm
for the point of rage to bring yourself down.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm talking like a really high level of anger and rage, right? And so maybe it's medium level, maybe an hour or an hour and 15 minutes or something, but 2 full hours. 2 full hours. And that will bring you will be in a different space in 2 hours. You might still be pissed for sure, but you're going to be in a different space. You're not going to be in that, I want to throw a glass against the wall space. So yes, that is from a clinician. That's from a clinician. Okay. 2 full hours.
2 full. Okay. So Facebook, if you guys don't hear from me for the next 4 days, I'm on my 25th 2 hours. So 2 hours from this, 2 hours from that, 2 hours from that. Yeah, like I don't know, but yeah. So have you practiced that 2 hours? For example, I think there might have been a time where you used 2 hours recently on my Facebook post.
That's correct.
Yay!
No, I didn't. Nothing you posted made me upset, but I have done the 2 hours myself. Like I have taken 2 hours to collect myself.
All right.
Yep. It was hard. It was hard because I had to like shut my phone off and get in the car or take a walk or whatever. I've done it several times and it works. Because 2 hours later, I'm still upset about the situation, but I'm in a different place. I'm not like that crazy angry. Yeah.
Okay, so what level anger were you with my Facebook post earlier this week? When I posted, I shared the article of, I think it was Tennessee maybe, where they were voting.
Oh, that's right. I commented and I was really upset. Wait a minute. What? Remind me again. The Tennessee.
Okay.
Oh, it was the father. Oh, the father. No, that level of anger is a totally different anger. I was
Okay,
not.
but
I was not at
all
top
right.
level. It was reactionary.
Okay.
It was reactionary. I did not take any time to calm down.
Okay.
I
All
didn't
right.
take
That's fine.
time down.
Uh what I did was I saw the article and I posted it, and I put like a thinking thing, because I knew if I gave any kind of opinion, it was gonna be trouble. So I didn't do that. So what I did was I was like, okay, Tennessee. I forgot what town it was or whatever, or what state it was, but they said they are thinking about an injunction or something where the father of unborn child could put a stop on abortions. And as soon as I saw you comment, I said, "Oh Lord!" And then I opened it up and I looked at it, and the first thing I saw was "Stay out of my uterus." I was like, "Hey." I just shared. I just shared it. I just shared it. I didn't say I agreed or I didn't think it was cool. However, in this, we're almost out of time, but I do like to say sometimes I feel like men don't have much say at all when it comes to being a parent. Leave that there. I'll just leave there. I'll just leave that like there, right there. Now,
All right.
now, if you need 2 hours, after that, just let me know.
No, I think we can leave that one right there because that's multifaceted. That's not just about a child being born or a woman's rights,
Yep.
reproductive rights, and all of that. That's multi-layered. I think that's even after a child is born and how a man is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Yeah. Well, that's a whole other show.
Maybe that could be the first of
and that should probably be 2 women and 2 men on that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good.
We need more perspectives than just us on that topic.
Okay.
That's a big topic.
All right, and I think maybe it should be like not the first, but the 4th, 5th. Once we get a little bit. Yeah, so I don't want to get in any trouble. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. So all right. I thank you for coming on and doing the test run. I think it went great.
I think it went.
And we will talk about setting it up to maybe do it one more again.
Yeah, we can. Let's just do one at a time. That's right. We'll pace it. See how it goes.
All right.
Thank you.
I thank you everybody who tuned in and watched it. I will leave this up so you can watch it, and maybe you know what I'll do is I'll like tomorrow or something. I'll take clips. I'll make little clips and kind of make like a commercial out of it, so they can kind of see what is being talked about. Yeah. And so they can see kind of like what it is. And then next time we go live, people who will see the commercial will be like, "Oh, let's see what they're talking about now."
Exactly. You got to reel them in. The tease. That's a tease.
Yeah, little tease.
That's right.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Thank everybody who tuned in and logged on. I'll holla.